You can't see it. Now you can. Never seen nothing like that. No, it's not an extra large street light. Come on, people. No, it's not a drone. No, we're not being invaded. And no, it's not kissing the street light. Ever see anything like that before? Seems like an awful lot of effort, doesn't it? You'd think a truck would be easier. See his license plate. Is that door open? It's getting closer. Now, if this was a drone, you wouldn't be able to fly it over people. Maybe that's the kicker. A helicopter, I guess you're allowed to fly over people. Get closer. Now, isn't that incredible? Nothing like that before. That's special. Hello, sir. Hey, so hell. Thanks for coming on live. Living for Jesus. That's what we're supposed to do. Be the salt of the earth, right? Without the salt, we're doomed. Actually, without Jesus, we're doomed. He's the one that gives us the saltiness, right? I guess they're checking out the utility lines. sure everything's okay. Make sure nobody steals the power. I don't know. Maybe they recommend the trees getting cut or not. Maybe they're looking for leakage. Very interesting though, isn't it? Seems like a lot of effort. I seen them do this, I don't know, a while ago after they put these poles up. I thought it was just because they had it contracted out or checking out to make sure it was done right. And now that I've seen them doing it years later, I'm wondering if it's because they gotta check these things for issues. Damage, power loss. The sky's the limit, I guess. I wonder if he can land on those lines without getting zapped, because there's no ground. I wonder how close you gotta get before you start feeling your hair stand up on end. I'm not a utility person, so I have no idea. But he's got a long way to go. They put this utility power grid up since I think they got rid of the coal electric plant down the road. And since then, I guess they had to start dividing up the way they do their infrastructure. Get the power from somewhere else. Maybe they're looking for those for sale signs, yard sale signs. You know, illegal posting. I have no idea. I'm sure somebody knows about this stuff. Hey, I'm not the only one out here. Look, there's another person down the street here. Like, what the heck is going on here? We got everybody entertained by this helicopter checking out wires. Brings out the whole neighborhood. I guess some people have never seen a helicopter before. When I first saw it, I thought the helicopter was broken down and looking for a place to land. Hey, Beetlejuice, thanks for coming on the live. My best guess is this helicopter has a person inside there that is checking out the wires. Since they upgraded these utility poles to a metal pole and went much higher, I am assuming that the power went up higher. And they came back and cleaned up all the leaves, the trees and branches further back from the power lines. And it soon happened after we got rid of a utility power plant down the road that makes coal, or uses coal to make electricity. So I'm thinking they had to redo the structure of the grid so that they can still get the amount of people covered with the power that they're using without that utility plant around here. You know, everything's going for that nuclear clean energy, which is so clean that they can't get rid of the nuclear waste. They're not even allowed to go down the street with it anymore. They got to sit it on site because there's no place that they'll take it. But it's clean energy, and it's cleaner than fossil fuels. We're not allowed to use fossil fuels on our lawnmowers and our chainsaws. So I guess the other alternative is a windmill that will last, what, 25, 15 years? And then you got to throw it away. Solar panels about the same way. Nobody wants that stuff either. It's toxic waste. Got a lot of heavy metals and stuff in there, and fiberglass that's non-recyclable. Not the one doing that. Lots of laughs. Oh, you're not doing the flying. Hey, Dad's fave. This is South Jersey, Beetlejuice. Only in South Jersey do we waste electricity and power and all that stuff to to entertain the neighborhood. Crazy. Like I said, they got a long ways. There's a down the end of the street here, and shoot over to the left and down a long ways, and then there's a distribution yard. So I'm assuming that's where they're going to. I'm not sure if they're going beyond that or if that's the end of the line. But I guess they get employed year-round flying around wires. I don't know. I assume over in the bays and the marshes you need a utility device like this to fly over and check things, because there's no real access roads. We're in the middle of the swamp. They had to use barges and stuff. So I guess they figure it's the same area, so you might as well use the same type of equipment. Now this stuff goes all the way down toward Cape May. Follows the parkway, these utility poles. Down toward Cape May is where the utility company used to have a coal burning plant, Beasley's Point. It was privatized years ago, and eventually some other contractors bought it, I guess, for their own personal use of selling electricity, and since then it's been dismantled and taken down. Yeah, you would think, Newton, that it would be cheaper to go driving around on a truck. But I guess this takes all those hours away of going up and down with the ladder, I guess. I would think you'd be able to see all this stuff from the ground. I mean, how far away is that helicopter? You think he's any closer being up in the air like that than if he was down here on the ground? I mean, shoot, these poles are, I don't know, 60 foot tall? I'm not sure. Anybody know what these numbers mean? Is it 65 amp? 65 amp. Right there it says 85 feet. So it's possibly 85 foot long, so maybe 20 foot in the ground. But she's solid. Don't hit one of them babies with your car. What do you think? We should follow it? Hey, Mason Faith, thanks for coming in. I say hi to you too. Thanks for watching. Should we follow this thing? Is it that entertaining to y'all? I'll go get my bike. Let's go for a bike ride. They're checking the slack of the lines, see if they need to be tensioned again before the heat of the summer. And it comes drooping toward the ground. Now that is interesting. So are these still copper wires, or are these cheapo aluminum wires? Very, very high expansion rate. I know they used to turn green. It might even be steel. All I know. Sorry about that. The electric works, but there's no good internet around here. Cell towers are like spotty. You'd think with a modern day and age, everything would be good shape. Let's see if I can re-tilt you. There we go. How's that? Is that more level? Tell you what, they get moving. But you can hear them for about a mile away. This low pitch oscillating fan sound. Sounds like somebody's putting their finger in a fan or something. So maybe from the air they can see the droop, measuring height or something. How do you measure deflection in the wires? You have to have two fixed points. Measure the sag. How do you do that? Is that with optics? GPS? That sounds more confusing than just getting a tape measure out. Hey, he turned left, making his way around the corner. So you can hear him, but you can't see him. So anybody's chimed in, this is a helicopter. Apparently, by one of these YouTube watchers, says he's checking the power lines for sagging wires. Getting ready for the heat wave. So how many years do you have to do this? And does it get less and less as the wires get older? They sag less? Very interesting. The other question is how you tighten these wires. You just tug on one end. Well, you can't see them, but you can sure hear them. You'd think putting the wires underground would be a lot cheaper. You don't have to worry about all this saggingness. Oh, you can see them over the trees there. Ah, there you go. I'll find you a spot. Barely see him. Let's zoom out some more. See if we can find him around the corner. Yeah, see him there? He's working his way down the street. And after that, he's going to turn right, I guess. Here he comes. You see him yet? There you go. It looks like a dot. Making his way down the road. Newcastle, still do this type of work. Uh-oh, here comes an ambulance. Right next to the hospital. People are dying all the time. Still do this type of work occasionally, but I've moved on to 5G networks. That's probably a lot safer than getting zapped by this stuff, huh? Newcastle. See if I can zoom out and maybe I'll be able to keep them in focus as I try and catch up to the helicopter who was avoiding the camera. Got a crowd out here. I'm going to see if you can see them on the side of the road. They're all checking out the sights. I guess you're like me, never seen a helicopter checking out wires. Looks like they pulled out of their car and pulled over. Let's see if we can cross this street. He's got a red light. Here, red light. Got a bike path. We should be safe. There you go. There's your helicopter. Oh, we better get it before the red light turns green. Green light turns red. There's your helicopter. He's about 400 feet from me. I got it zoomed out, so it looks like he's a mile away. Yeah, there's a guy in the back seat, so there must be two guys. One flying it and one doing the camera or measuring. See if my camera will stay on focus with them. Does it have a setting like that to track it? I don't see any tracking on here. Is he wearing a yellow safety suit so people can see him when he's flying? Or is that just me? Yeah, Beetlejuice, it is pretty wild having an expert on a live chat. Go figure. There's a lot of us that are kind of retired. Got nothing else to do but watch YouTubes anymore. Make YouTubes. It's about the only thing we do in America anymore. Until they tax us to death on that too. You can't fly a drone anymore without a special pilot license unless you don't want to publish the video. So what's the point of the video then? I would think you'd be able to do this with a drone a lot cheaper too. That's less fuel. Plus it'd be electric, right? So you don't have to worry about the environment. All this fossil fuel being burned. Now see, what is he doing? Checking from the middle? You have to take a look at this. Does he check the middle and the ends? Oh, there goes the ambulance. Guess they got their patient. Maybe they went the wrong way and they had to get another vehicle. I don't know. Maybe there's two people that hurt him. All right, so is he checking at that pole? Oh, maybe it's a straight line between the two poles, and then you use the deviation in the middle. Maybe that's how you do it. Get there right in the middle. Line up to two poles where they attach, and then take a deviation. That makes sense. Kind of like a surveyor does. Oh, he's off to the next one. So that being the case, you got to get almost horizontal then, so you can see the deflection right without an error, because if you're up too high, you won't be able to see the angle as well. In that case, I would think you'd be further away from the wire horizontally. But he's almost right on top of it. Yeah, he stopped almost right in the middle of those two. So how do you adjust the air for being how high you're above it? Alright, Beetlejuice, we need another expert on measuring. This is way beyond my calculus in school. Trigonometry, you call it, right? Calculus? Yeah, it's probably geometry. Probably very, very basic stuff. Now you got my curiosity. Is he going to stop at the sub-center? Or is he going to go continue on to the next wire? I guess if you have a whole day's work, you got to check out as much as you can until you run out of fuel. Newton, you're there! Oh, thank you, Beetlejuice. See, even in the old age, you still can use math. Just watch the helicopters check wires. Who would think that I went to school all those years trying to figure out how to measure wires with a helicopter? I'm so glad I wasted all those tax dollars. So if you joined here recently, you are watching a helicopter. And according to, what's his name, Newton Castle, this guy's checking the tension of the wires. Make sure they're not going to sag too much before the heat wave comes on. They're only a few years old, so I guess they sag. Kind of like your chainsaw, I guess. My question is, how old do they get before you don't have to check them as often? What kind of wires are they? I don't think they use copper anymore, because otherwise they'd still be green. Are they aluminum? Are they galvanized? I doubt it's stainless steel. They don't look rusty, so I bet it's aluminum. But if they're aluminum, that means they probably stretch quite a bit. And the question I have is, how do you tighten up these wires? You just tug on one end, the whole thing's done in one shot? Oh, he says it's aluminum. Hey, Wildwoods, this ain't beekeeping, and this is not a bee. Sorry about that. It's got wings, though. Or maybe they call them propellers. So aluminum wire, that must have a big stretch. Plus, it probably degrades very quickly. It probably stretches non-stop. I know aluminum in a house wire is always dangerous. For many, many years, the wires are constantly loosening up, causing arc problems and fires. Ah, they're blades! What are they to sharpen them, Beetlejuice? Or are they self-sharpening? Are they made out of fiberglass? We gotta get a helicopter expert in here. So how much does this guy make per hour to fly this helicopter? We're in South Jersey. What's the going rate for an airplane or a helicopter pilot? Is it higher than an airplane? Oh, they're a composite. Fiberglass and other garbage, I guess. Uh-oh. I thought he was landing. Nope. Checking it out. I wonder how many times he's gotten filmed in his life flying this helicopter. You should make a YouTube. Be the famous, I'm the line-checking helicopter dude on YouTube, answering all your questions about helicopters and flying over wires. Look, see, this is where they're turning in the road here with the wires.
So they switched from being horizontal to off to one side as it curves. Now, if these were the wood poles that have all kinds of braces trying to hold them up. Although they do have braces on these sometimes when we make a corner. But this is a very round corner. When they put these in, some of these, I don't know who designed this thing, but they put the poles right in the middle of the sidewalk. You would think that the sidewalk would have the right of way. So now when you ride down the sidewalk, you gotta watch out so you don't run into a pole. Now this is right next to a high school and a lot of grade schools, so there's a lot of kids walking on these sidewalks every day that the school's open. Very high traffic. Because we don't want to waste energy busting kids that are just around the corner. Calvar! How do you say it? Kelvar. Kelvlar fiberglass. That almost sounds like those bulletproof vests. Now you have to figure out, are the grain on the fiberglass, are they a net, stitched? Are they woven? Are they multiple patterns? Because I know fiberglass has different strengths and the different shapes of the weave. Being it's a helicopter, I guess they want the strongest and lightest and smallest that you get. I bet it's like a weave. And this camera's getting heavy. I'm going to stick it down for a second. So right now, he's over top the entrance to the schools. See that? That's where the kids have their crossing guards. He's right over top of them. I guess that's why right there. Where is it? Right? Can you see it? Right there. I guess that's because they got that little switch control. Probably goes down there to the bottom to that box there and off to the schools. They probably have their own breakaway. They're not off the main wire. They're a little another voltage down there. I'm told that this is higher voltage than this one is. And then down here is your TV cables and your phone cables down there. That's where you can touch those wires and not get killed, I think. Don't trust me. I know nothing. And then over here, these wires are the ones that go to your pieces of houses, to their individual transformers. So why can't they just have little spots right here? They just connect from here to here and have little distribution spots that save going all the way back and forth. Anybody know anything about that? Why can't they just do it right there? Why do we have to go all the way to a substation and come back? You would think it'd be less wire. Oh, you think the helicopter blades are bulletproof? I doubt that. Oh, there's a spot right there. See the utility poles right in the middle of the sidewalk. It had to go around the pole. They came back later on and moved the sidewalk. Hey, we got more people out here watching it. Actually, there's a lot of high-density housing. The wave of the future. Everybody wants you to not have a car anymore. They just want you to walk around and stand around and wait for buses in the rain and the snow. Somehow that's supposed to save the environment. But now you got hours that you're just waiting for a bus. How does that save the world? You could have been working. You could have been having fun with your family. I don't understand public transportation. And if you ever have more than one kid, good luck trying to carry all those car seats and those strollers and all that paraphernalia you got to carry around with kids. All their snacks, their toys. I've been on vacation sometimes, and there's places you can't drive. And I'll tell you what, trying to unload and load onto a bus with all that junk, good luck. One of the places is Disney World. That's a joke and a half. Try and get around there with a huge family, with all their paraphernalia, their toys, diaper bags, all the different size strollers. Unless you spread them out, don't have them all at once. Oh, Kevlar is bulletproof? Oh, so that's what they use for bulletproof vest. Hey, look, he's switching the sides. I guess he's getting tired of that side. Or is he taking off? Oh, no. Maybe they're taking a lunch break. Ah, man, I gotta switch hands, guys. I only got one brake and it's on the other handlebar. Alright, let's see if we can get any closer. Is he taking off? He's out of reach. Just switch sides. We lost the helicopter. There we go, switching sides of the road before I get run over. There he is! He's the backseat driver. Look at that, he's going backwards. I guess he can do it from both sides of the helicopter. Here's another of these sidewalks. See how they put the pole right in the middle of it? I don't know. Maybe that's the only place they're allowed to put them. Hey, there's one of them streaks in the sky. You see that white line? People tell me that that's because they're spraying the air with all kinds of heavy metals to control the weather. What's your thoughts on that, huh? Look at that white line, you see it? Right behind that pole there. Actually, I wonder if it's just the disturbance in the moisture in the air when they fly through. You see that line? Fading very quickly right here. The line. The jet is actually right about here, right at the bottom of this cloud. See it? That's the jet. The line is right there. Going away. I don't see too many more, so I don't know if they're seeding the clouds around here. I don't really think they care about the weather around here. Look at this. Is this fiber optics? This is like their substation, maybe? Or is that a sewer pumping station? It's got these big wires going down in here. And they got this spool. Big spool. Expansion and contraction. Oh, shoot! I'm glad I looked at that. Look at that. Those wires go right up the pole. You see that? All the way up to the top. Right to the tippy top there. Good gobs, it's the top wire. Is that like the lightning rod? So it starts way up there. Goes all the way down here. Down in the bottom. And they got this big spool. What's that for? Is that lightning suppression? Man, you guys got me out here looking at all this stuff. Never watched this stuff before. All these questions I got. Thanks to you guys on here watching this helicopter. I just plug things in and never think about it. What's going on here? Real 4, B4. We are tracking down a helicopter. According to Beetlejuice, he's telling me that they're checking the wires. Make sure that they're not sagging too far down before we get into the summer months. And he seems to think they're made out of aluminum. So, if that be the case, they probably stretched quite a bit. Years ago, they were green, they would be copper. So he's stopping apparently every time he goes in between two poles, and I guess he's using that to measure the deflection of the wires. But the angle that he is above those wires, I wonder how he can calculate that. He's probably about 1,000 feet in front of me. Looks like he's miles away. We got a pedestrian that's walking. I'm gonna try and get off this bike path. See, I can't ride over dirt. I got oh, you can't see that side. I can't ride over dirt. I got a skateboard wheel on the front of my bicycle, and I got only one brake. So you got to bear with me. I call this my half bike. Originally, I got it because I used to ride a school bus to school, and it takes forever to get there on feet. So my dream was to have a bicycle that would fit inside a locker. You ask me why I wanted a bicycle? Very simple. Because the morons that run the school system banned me from having a skateboard on the bus. They said it was too dangerous. I guess it could roll to the front of the bus. I'm like, well, if it's in a backpack, it can't roll. But they didn't want it to be a projectile, I guess. So I could not use my skateboard to go back and forth to school. So I was always looking for something that was legal. Maybe a pogo stick or something. So anybody wonder why the bees are dying? Well, it's probably because of all these helicopters, right? They're chopping them up. Just kidding. Don't take that for seriousness, guys. See if you see his license plate. This says patrol on the back. Look at that. Some guy in a yellow suit checking out the wires. Woo! There's another one of them sidewalks. Look at that. They had to relocate it around the utility pole. See there? They had to start right there and rerun the sidewalk. You'd think when you're doing a sidewalk, you would just move it over a couple inches and you won't have to, I don't know. Very strange the way people do things. I know when I used to do things for people, I'd always be questioning the boss. Like, what the heck are we doing this for? It seems so back-ass. Oh, here's another one. Look at that. All you have to do is move it over another 2 feet. Maybe the wires have to be all in a certain line. So they, I don't know, keep the tensing right. Which is interesting, because this road right here, this was never a through street in the first place. See that little turn right there? That was a cul-de-sac. And that was a cul-de-sac where you would just turn around. The reason being is our wonderful city makes the builders build a road if they want to build houses. So they just build the road to where they're making their construction site. And then after that, the next guy taps off the same road and extends it on further. And then after the traffic's all built up, because people are starting to move in, it becomes a nightmare with all the curves and stuff. So the city comes back and straightens it out. It makes it a less complicated road. And then the power company comes in here, puts their poles in a certain place, and I guess they got to be more straight, so they kind of change the way the roads look. Kind of crazy. Now, why is he going this side? Ah, he's coming back. No, I think he's done. Is he done for the day? Ah, he's not even going to the substation. Good gops. I guess that's the end of the live chat, guys. You're losing our helicopter. Well, I guess I'm going to sign off. That was interesting. I appreciate you all watching the live chat. 1 gallon a minute of kerosene is what they run off of. So I've got to get back on my bike and go home. Appreciate you all being out here watching the live chat and my half bike. Thanks for watching. Signing off. Bye.